101 going pop. Getting hot, hot, hot. In the paint, never flop. At the rim like who? Get the crown like Braun. Yeah. Make it some and I'm spending some. What's the plan? Bet I get it done. It's me, yeah, nigga.
Notoriety Sports Network. Built different.
What's good, boys?
What up? What up?
Oh, man, we got a interesting topic today. We have the Pacific Division, the Atlantic Division.
Best for last.
I was like,
I believe we did that intentionally, by the way, if anybody's wondering.
yeah, I mean, we've had a few divisions that we really didn't care to talk about too much.
Hey, but we really did. We had a whole 20 minutes on Orlando one time.
Yeah, we did.
If we can talk about Orlando for 20 minutes, then we're pretty good.
Sacramento gets a lot of love.
Today they won't.
Yeah, today is
when we're on them, we won't.
Oh,
We'll
man.
talk about that division first or what?
I don't know. I like kind of what we were talking about before the show. What division, top to bottom, what do you say is the most loaded division?
Of these two?
Yeah.
The Atlantic.
So Atlantic has Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks, Toronto Raptors, and Philadelphia 76ers.
In my opinion, that's 4 playoff teams.
In the East, I don't know if the Knicks are. Yeah, I think the Knicks would be a play. Yeah, you're right. I think the Knicks would be a playoff team.
They're that team that last year, where were they? For 5th or 6th. But Miami was kind of underwhelming last year. I think that the Hornets will be better, but I still think the Knicks can make the playoffs, even if it's 8th seed, And I don't think Boston will be too much above them.
I think the Pacific would have 4 playoff teams with a healthy Kawhi, though. That's the difference.
They still might. They still might. But I think – so you think the Clippers don't make the playoffs?
I think that
I like their chances if they get a play-in game. I'll say that much.
I think if Paul George plays like he was in that Utah series in parts of the Western Finals, I think that's enough to be the 9 seed or the 10 seed.
I just don't feel like they did enough to get better. All you didn't do anything to get better. You just got rid of bad players like Pat Bev. Because I don't know that Bledsoe makes that team better.
So I guess
do what?
I guess it comes down to if you think the Clippers or the Knicks are the better team.
The Knicks, in my opinion. I
really think RJ Barrett is going to take a leap this year, and that will contribute to that. But
I think that team would be even way better if their big men stay healthy. If Mitchell don't get hurt, if Nerlens don't get hurt, because that's I think why it got easy for Atlanta to beat them in the playoffs. Because when Nerlens Noel wasn't hurt in that first game, they didn't know how to play the Knicks. So I think the Knicks are actually a little better than people realize, and they got Kemba. To a lot of people, that don't mean anything, but I think Kemba's a good player.
Yeah, he's solid. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. I'm not a big Kemba Walker fan. I never was. I do feel that he's a great fit for the Knicks, though. Let me say that, though.
I just look at it in terms of what it requires to win a playoff basketball game, and I think that Kemba Walker could take a game over for you for 5 or 6 minutes, and sometimes that's good enough, And then not to mention, if he's doing bad, D Rose is on the bench. D Rose is your 6th man.
Yeah, at this point in his career, though, Kemba, what Kemba are we getting now?
Oh, you won't get Charlotte Kemba. But I still think that you could get Kemba who can go get you like 20 points in a quarter or something. Like if you ask him to take the game over for a short spurt, I think he can do it. And that team would need somebody to do that because Julius Randle tries to do it too much. And that's why RJ Barrett isn't developing.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything in the playoffs. I think RJ Barrett takes a leap this year. They got quickly. They have a lot of young guys.
See, that's what makes me nervous about RJ Barrett is because they do have quickly, and then they drafted Quentin Grimes from U of H. So it's like, if these guys are more assertive, then that makes RJ look even worse. Because I actually think that Quentin Grimes is going to be a good pro player. I don't know that he's going to be better than RJ, but how good do we think RJ really can be?
He improved so much from year 1 to year 2. You would almost have to think he takes another leap going into this year. But I mean, that remains to be seen.
That's true. But plus, they also got Obi Toppin. They drafted the Jericho Sims from UT. So I think that team's gonna try to play super fast. I don't know why they gave Evan Fournier $80 million, but they did.
Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. But then going back to the Clippers, they're relying a lot on some older guys. Like Reggie Jackson, is he back or was that a flash?
No, they gave him a 2-year deal.
Right, but like, is he back to being a decent point guard, or was that kind of a fluke?
I think that it's somewhere in between, and that's why they did bring Bledsoe in there, because they're thinking between the two of them, one of them will be hot, and that's who we'll play with, you know? Because, like, what Reggie Jackson did last year in the playoffs is what Bledsoe tries to do, or he used to do. So they're just looking for a scoring point guard, because Kawhi obviously runs the offense, or Paul. It's like you said, they had too many old dudes on that team. You got Batum and Morris at your power forward. You're going to get beat every time.
No.
Well, they got Ibaka.
Is Ibaka even back from his back injury, though?
I don't know. I thought they were going to buy him out.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get bought out. I think he's not coming back to, like, mid-season is what they said.
And they got Zubac, so that means you really only have, like, one big. They get no big man on that team.
No. It's I don't know, man. It's tough because it's like I'm looking at the divisions, and I mean, the Atlantic alone. You said what? There's like 4 playoff teams.
3, maybe 4. I think that James is higher on the Spurs the Suns than I am.
No, for Atlantic, the Eastern.
Oh, Atlantic, I say 4 with the Knicks.
Yeah, because I mean, you got the Knicks.
I think that Brooklyn, Philly, Boston, and New York are playoff teams out of the Atlantic.
What about
I like Boston too?
What do y'all think happens with Philly? I mean, that's a hot topic. I feel like the Ben Simmons.
I put Philly right back in the middle of that division, and that's basically because there's so many different ways this could go. But with Embiid, I can't see them falling. They're not falling farther than. I don't think anyone's falling to 5th. I think the Raptors have the 5th spot locked up. But it really depends on the Simmons trade, if there is one.
If the rumor was true and they turned down that deal from Indiana, then they're dumb. They're stupid. Supposedly they were willing to give up Brogdon and LeVert for Simmons. I'd have took that trade in a heartbeat. You instantly become the best shooting team in the East with that trade. You have 2 dudes who can run point. All you're losing is rebounding in that deal, but you're gaining so much more.
You put them ahead of the Nets with that trade?
No, not the Nets. I still think the Nets will beat them because I just don't really think there's anybody in the East that could stop KD. I really don't. I think the team that would give KD the most problems would be the Heat. But
with PJ,
you got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. they just can't match the offensive firepower, and that's how the Bucks were able to stay with them. But I think it's pretty clear the Nets are the cream of this division. Who did you have second in this division?
Philly.
I put the Celtics just over them, and that's just because we know what we're getting with them. We know we're getting Jason Tatum, who's taking who could take another step. We're getting Jaylen Brown, who's not a superstar, but he's definitely a star player in this league. Even guys like Cantor with the Celtics help. They have a nice.
But
rotation.
that's my thing about the Boston Celtics is this: what's your rotation look like? Because are you starting Horford at the 4 and then Robert Williams at the 5? Because I think that's your best lineup, and I don't have a feeling that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they're almost definitely going to start Robert Williams, but I don't know if Horford's going to come off the bench or not.
But that's my point. It's like, do you really want Horford and Cantor coming off your bench? I don't.
They would get destroyed defensively.
They would get and they'll be in each other's way. It's like they just wouldn't play well together. Cantor, he needs somebody like Tatum at the 4.
Are we sure Horford can still really play, or was that more a move just to have that veteran in the locker room?
I think Horford has more to offer than we realize, to be honest with you. He basically got a year off last year.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, we're not saying like 2012 Horford's coming in, but
yeah,
like sometimes you watch Brooklyn games and LaMarcus Aldridge does things that you're like, damn, I didn't think you could still do that, you know? And
yeah,
you get some of that out of Horford. Like with Paul Millsap, it's like I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I still put Boston ahead because Philly's kind of weirdly built, especially if they don't have Simmons. And I don't think they're going to get what they hope for him either. And there's so much drama surrounding this team, which could impact this season. And Boston wasn't as good as they were supposed to be last year. So I think all those factors combined puts the Celtics just ahead of them for me. But I wouldn't be shocked if Philly took second.
So
I feel like Philly will. I mean, Joel Embiid's just that. Like he kind of fits into that KD situation. It's like, can anybody in the East really guard this guy? Like if he decided to go play smart basketball, dictate tempo, no bad shots, I don't see anybody in the East that could shut him down. Like, really?
Do you
maybe
think
Bam Adebayo? Maybe.
Do you think that with the Ben Simmons drama with the city going after him, do you think they have to trade him? Because I mean, right now it kind of seems like they're both like have at a stalemate.
I don't think you have to trade him. Like you get to that point until you find out if the team's gonna suck with him not coming back.
I mean, you had the whole.
It's gonna be like the Deshaun Watson situation. As we talked about it, and now we really need him. So it's like, damn. But we can't take him back.
To me, though, I think that Philly fan base is a legit, like, bro, it was literally Wednesday at wrestling. They had a chant, F you, Ben Simmons, like, at the wrestling event. Like, do I feel he deserves all the heat? No, but, I mean, I think
No, he does. Like, I get he wants to leave, but he has to take accountability for the fact, like, you didn't show up in the playoffs, bro. If you can't take the criticism, then.
But you can't put the whole series blame on one person. Like,
I can't, but I can, because if you go back and watch that series, it came down to the fourth quarter of Game 7 and they lost. It's like, bro, you're supposed to be the guy. You know how many points you had?
Why doesn't Tobias Harris get the same criticism? Why doesn't other players? No, he doesn't.
And plus, they showed up, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like they you had other players that came out this week and were like, I don't know why the fan base is just mad at him. I messed up also. Because you can see effort, and he was not giving it to you. So if you get pissy because I say you didn't try, that's on you, bro. That's your shit to deal with.
I don't know. I just feel that Philly fan base is the same fan base that one week they like Jalen Hurts, the next week they want to crucify him, then the next week they love him again.
Hey,
And then
I say leave it. Let him do it because he's going to stay there. But my point being is like if we're being completely honest, he's better off going to another team anyway. He just doesn't fit on that team. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean,
let's find out if you're that good.
I know Boston, Jaylen Brown got COVID today, so I don't know how long that's going to last. And then,
for all you know, Ben Simmons could leave that team, and it'll be like a T-Mac situation. It's like, damn, you're kind of glad he did leave that team, you know?
Man, let me ask this then. Okay, with the Toronto Raptors, I know they're not going to be, a playoff team.
I don't even think they make the playoffs.
But I want to add in because you still have, especially in this division, you have that one player, that Kyrie Irving, that hasn't been vaccinated. He's not going to be able to still play home games. And now Toronto, the country of Canada has that new law now where if you don't abide by it, you end up getting, I think, fined like $750,000 and you can get jail time.
I think they're gonna, even if they do that to a player or something, the league will back them and then like, screw that, Toronto, you got to move back to Florida for this season.
I don't think they will, because they didn't help out some of these players with their decisions. I mean, the city of Brooklyn
kind of like it's preseason, bro. Like if they're talking about that shit now, we won't be hearing about it come Christmas. You know what I mean? He'll budge. Watch Kyrie get a vaccine.
Andrew Wiggins did.
Exactly. Like you can't. It's a distraction, so you can't justify not getting it. It's like, okay, give us a reason why, and if your reason is just because I want it, then you're being an ass. You know what I mean?
That's one of the few reasons I debated being cute and like not putting the Nets first, but they're so loaded that if Kyrie,
I would even say this exactly to your point, they might be better without Kyrie. You got Patty Mills now. You got Joe Harris now. You need dirty players. You got Bembry. You got Brown. So that team is kind of, how do you want to play? And we're going to play that way. They just need one more big man, I think.
Let me ask this. Would you trade him right now then?
Who?
Kyrie.
It depends on what you get back, but don't nobody want that idiot.
His value is actually probably lower than it should be because of all that.
If you really think about it, what team do you think would trade for Kyrie?
A team that
Brooklyn would. The only team that, if I was Brooklyn and I was shopping him, I would call the Knicks. Like, what are you willing to give up? Because you need a point guard. I'll take some of them 5 fucking centers on your team.
But the Knicks would be the same problem because New York's not letting them play. It would have to be a state that, like OKC, like a state that doesn't care about
Florida,
whether they're vaccinated.
But it wouldn't be their problem anymore.
I mean, I could see a team that I already know he did say like if he gets traded, he's leaving, he's gonna retire. But I mean, it could. The way I see it is maybe a team that needs to sell some damn tickets. Because there's a few teams out there that,
send them to the Clippers.
Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Oh, my gosh.
For Karl Anthony?
Ooh.
I would make that trade.
Would you, though?
I would, if I was Brooklyn. I think Karl Anthony will kill the East. It'd be like Joel Embiid all over again.
That's a trade you'll never see, though, too. Just superstars 1-for-1.
Yeah, I ain't seen one of those in forever.
What is that in your
NBA?
Yeah.
It's better than NFL trades, though. It's like 6th-round pick for
I know, right?
a top corner.
I'll give you a 5th and a 7th and a conditional 4th if he does this well. And then we cut him.
I really think that's one of the best things about the NBA. Baseball has fairly decent, but even baseball trades kind of suck now, where you'll get like the 50th best prospect that a team has. Where the NBA is one of the few leagues where we can talk like Kyrie getting traded, which sounds crazy, but like, would we be that surprised if he gets traded?
I think the reason being is because we kind of have more of a general knowledge of what each player makes. So you can look at it and be like, that's a money deal, you know?
Yeah.
You know who the max guys are, who the mid-level guys are, who the minimum guys are, who's on a vet's minimum.
Fewer players on the roster. There's no minor leagues.
So we look at, like, for the Rockets, for instance, it's like, oh, we wouldn't be spending any money if John Wall wasn't on the team. Or we wouldn't be spending anything if we didn't have Eric Gordon on the team, which I kind of liked how he looks on the team now. Eric Gordon's playing that PJ Tucker corner role. He's just standing there shooting it.
It's a good role to have.
So let me ask this. I did see that rumor about Pacers and 76ers. Would you have done that trade?
If I was giving up those two players, then the only reason I wouldn't have is because I don't know why Indiana would want that trade, though. Why would you want to put Simmons with Sabonis? They're the same person.
I mean, I don't know. It's like playing NBA.
If I'm Philly, I make that trade. But if I'm Indy, I'm not doing it because I'm not giving up those players and all those picks and all those pick swaps. That's just being greedy, bro.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I don't know. I think at some point Philly needs to trade Ben. At Atlanta, New York's I feel is fine. Brooklyn, I don't know what y'all are gonna do with Kyrie at this point. Like y'all are.
I still think they win the division. That team is just that. You got Kevin Durant, bro.
Oh no, I'm not saying I don't think I actually agree with you that I think Brooklyn with KD and Harden is actually a lot better, runs smoother and everything. I think Kyrie just adds that extra little pop. It's like if you get ice cream, it's like you get like your favorite ice cream.
That's the thing. That's why people hate Kyrie is because what that role asks of you is you're J.R. Smith in that role, but you want to be Kobe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, shut the hell up, bro. Just get this ring you're about to win and shut the hell up.
So it goes, yeah, I mean, we got shooters on the Pacers, so a passer and playmaker would help. I just don't like his inability to adapt, actually.
Like, the perfect spot for Ben Simmons is still Houston. I stand by that.
He would look great in those jerseys. We do a 3-team trade. Philly, you can have John Wall.
Yeah, figure it out. So I got, let me see, Brooklyn, Philly, probably Boston, New York, Toronto, in the Atlantic.
Yeah, Toronto.
But I'm kind of thinking after he said it, I'm kind of thinking like what James said, like, don't be surprised if Philly finishes 1, 2, or 4, you know?
Yeah, that's Philly's that toss-up team. I feel like if Ben comes back, plays, they can be dangerous as hell. But I feel with him packing his stuff up, selling his house, literally telling the team like, yo, I don't want to be here. And I don't think it's even the team at that. I think it's the city pushing him out. Because it's not just fans, it's news, it's every bro, like literally there was a video.
It's like James Harden said the other day, it's like when it's over, it's over. Like he knew after he had that interview after we lost to the Lakers, he's like, I'm not playing for this team again. So Ben done made his mind up.
Yeah, that's what I feel like, especially in the NBA, it kind of comes down to like, yeah, we're done. This marriage is over. Let's end it here. Like Anthony Davis with the Pelicans. He tried. It was over. I mean, you have these things like I'll use James Harden, like you said, you brought it up. As fans, you kind of already knew, like, yeah, that's it. And I mean, it's with us Texans fans with Deshaun Watson. We're already pretty much, if he comes back, cool, but
it's gonna suck all over again when you find out where he's gonna go. But then you're like, okay, whatever. We knew he was leaving. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I think with him, it's best for both sides because how are you're gonna go into a home court game and then you're gonna have Ben Simmons out there and the city's just booing him. Like how is that gonna look? Like it's gonna just be weird.
But also, like, if you keep Ben Simmons on that team, then that's gonna like Tyrese Maxey. He should be playing more on that team. Like you have good players on that team who should get a chance. So you're not necessarily gonna be like hurting when he leaves. You just gotta get good players. Somebody to come in and get a bucket for themselves. That's what that team needs, a second bucket getter.
Yeah. Do they get it? I don't know.
I don't know where they can get it from.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know. It's just that division. I want to give Philly their respect because I do feel they're a great team with Joel Embiid, but I feel until this Ben Simmons stuff lingers, and as it keeps lingering, it's going to cause friction in that locker room. Because, I mean, you literally
I don't even think he's going to be around.
I mean, I don't think he shows up. I mean, you had literally Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers both come out and kind of pretty much put the blame on Ben. And then you want to come back later and be like, no, we need you, bro. Like,
no, I don't think that'll happen. Like,
well, no, I mean, that already happened, though.
I'm a Joel Embiid fan, so I'm hoping he come out and be like, okay, I'm going for MVP this year.
Well,
because
no, I mean,
he didn't get hurt last year, he would have been the MVP.
I lost respect. Like, I love Joel Embiid. Don't get me wrong. Like, I just feel, though, bro, like, at the end of the game, you're calling out Ben Simmons. We all know who you're calling out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Which we've already had our point that, you know, there is blame to go around for him. But then you try to get a group together to go see Ben Simmons in LA. He's like, nah, fam, don't come out here. And then you praise that, oh, I hope he comes because, you know, we could win a championship. And then when you realize, like, yo, he don't want nothing to do with us, you're like, yeah, F this dude. Like, what the hell, bro? Pick a side. Bro, pick a side. Like, are you on Yoda's side or are you on the dark Sith side? Like, come on, bro, pick a side. Like,
he should have just went and not told Ben, and if Ben sent him away, that he could have came back like, all right, that fool quit. He gave up on us. Get rid of him.
Yeah,
you
like,
know what I mean? I would have made an enemy then.
Yeah, like cut ties and just let's go. Like, I would have gone down to Daryl Moore and be like,
as long as Ben don't come to the locker room, it's not a big deal. Like, go do you, Embiid. Go see if you can win.
I mean, but at some point, I think he is. That's 4 years where he's gonna need basically to go there. I mean, you're gonna lose a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I feel like if Indy did offer that trade, they're stupid for turning that down. Stupid. Just imagine that Brogdon, LeVert, Tobias, and Embiid.
I heard that Portland sent a trade also. No, they requested a trade to Portland. They wanted
it was like three first round picks, 3 pick swaps, CJ McCollum.
Yeah, and Portland told him, hell nah.
Morey's being greedy.
That sounds like a Daryl Morey trade, though, like where he's like shooting for like your children and your car and your house and everything for like.
I mean, what's the rush though? Like, honestly, they could wait till a team gets desperate, maybe hit by injuries, and then overpays.
Because other teams are probably offering their players because they don't want their players to lose value. Because like, what if CJ comes out and starts terrible? Then you're like, I don't want that fool. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's possible.
Well, then Ben Simmons was pissed last year because he was in all the Harden trades. I wonder how like McCollum and all these Indiana guys, like you could just be creating a lot more pissed off players.
Oh yeah, if you're playing NBA 2K and you are offering and looking at all these trades, your morale would go down big time.
Indiana morale's low. Portland's morale's low.
Yeah, but those teams both know they plateaued. Like, you know, it's like, okay, what we have is not going to win.
Man. All right. We talked about that one. Let's get into the Lakers division.
Just to your point, it's like Phoenix might have that morale problem right now. How do you tell Ayton that you don't want to max deal extend him? That was stupid.
That was crazy.
That was dumb. Could be a motivating thing, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. Now it's like you're really going to pay. Matter of fact, I might leave.
I'm higher on Phoenix than most people because everyone is writing them off as a fluke. And they did catch a few breaks for sure, but it's a loaded team. Booker's only getting better. He's not Kobe like everyone wants him to be. Chris Paul, we'll see what he has left. That's the biggest question mark. Aiden's just getting better. Bridges is good. Like they got
They just don't have a bench because Cam Johnson's good, but he can't run the second unit by himself. I mean, you brought in Elfrid Payton, and Lil Cam, he might have been a fluke, you know. I do like they picked up JaVale McGee though.
I like a lot of their guys, and it's the continuity too with the Warriors. I put the Suns ahead of the Warriors for that reason. With the Warriors, you're depending on Klay to come back healthy when he hasn't played in 2 years.
I don't think that's necessarily true because you brought back Iguodala, you got Otto Porter, you still got Wiggins. Like that team, they got players. Draymond could run the second unit. He runs the first unit. Shit, and then you brought in Bielitsa. So this is the first time you really had a stretch big on that team.
Shoot, that boy Klay Thompson was out swimming in the bay. That boy was dunking yesterday.
The only person that makes me nervous on that team is Wiseman.
You know what's interesting? I didn't realize that since Klay's been out, Russell Westbrook has played for 5 different teams.
Really?
I believe so, yes. I had a migraine yesterday, but I know it was at least 4 to 5 teams.
So he must have still been in OKC when he got hurt.
Yeah, it was OKC, Houston,
Washington.
So 4 teams, right? Because Lakers. Yeah. Or he's going to be on playing for 14, something like that. Which I was like, that's still a lot of teams. Like,
I never question Klay. What is wrong with y'all?
Oh, I don't question Klay, but it's tough to come back after 2 years and not be a little bit rusty. Curry's Curry, so he'll be cooking. I don't think Otto Porter should ever be used in a positive sentence.
No, he could. But okay, think about it like this. When Melo comes in there and he starts doing stupid shit and want to bang with everybody, Porter, go in there and do that. Like, you know how to defend that. Go use your fouls. Like, that's what he's there for.
I don't know.
Because other than that, they got a bunch of little bodies.
I mean,
they got Kuminga, bro. They drafted Kuminga.
Their bench is a bunch of raw young guys that haven't proven anything. That's my biggest worry with them is their depth. Is just a lot of young guys or really old guys. Because you have Iguodala, who's like 63, and then you have Kuminga, who's like 18.
Yeah, but the rest of them, like the original three are the old guys on that team with Iguodala. But you think about it, like Looney's still young. Toscano Anderson's young. Moses Moody's young. So they'll have people to run.
Yeah, I just don't know how they match up with Phoenix's position by position depth. And the Warriors have the best player between the two teams. And if Klay's healthy,
I'm gonna be honest, James. I think if them two played in the playoffs, the Suns get swept. Like I really feel that way because the way that Phoenix is, like I don't think as good as Aiden is, that team don't know how to play big. So if you could control the rebounds and then return the tempo, you can beat Phoenix easy.
I don't know, but we're talking about a team who just made the finals against a team who couldn't make it out of the play-in. Adding Klay Thompson, yes, but you didn't really add much that would move a needle in a playoff series. Kuminga's not going to do anything in the playoffs his rookie year.
You're basically getting Wiseman, who's like another draft pick. I think that team is better than you realize, and it's a true system. They know that how to operate it, and it works. You know what I mean?
If Klay's 100%, I agree, but because that's a question mark.
They said what? I think he's supposed to come back in like January or something. February. Is he shooting for? I mean, NBA scares me because you have these guys that are like Derrick Rose, Brandon Roy, where they come back from injury and they're just not the same. You want them to be the same, but they're not the same. And I hope, as much as I hated the Warriors when I was a Rockets fan going against them, you have to respect Klay. And I hope.
I was about to say, like, all that is true, but Klay's the exception to all. Like, he's just different like that. So I don't worry about shit. Klay will come out there and average 22 points. Watch.
Been injured 2 years, bro.
It's 2 different injuries, though.
Back to back. I know, but I mean,
still a red flag.
I mean,
and he's smoking that Cali weed, so you know his shit heals good.
Well, he needed to do something. He needed to smoke whatever Derrick Rose smoked because I don't know, bro. after seeing him come back and then get hurt again, I was like, oh gosh, like here we go again. Like it's
The
a
Achilles
revolving door.
The Achilles sucks more than the ACL.
Yeah.
Don't worry about ACL.
Shit, I worry about his body if he getting breaking down like that. He's like that. He's like that little Toyota car that you have that it drives, but then something goes wrong, and I mean you're optimistic because it's not expensive to fix, but it just keeps breaking down, bro.
Well, I'll say this: I think both of those teams are better than the Clippers.
Oh, Clippers, yeah, quiet.
Yeah, so I had Lakers, Suns, Warriors, Clippers, Kings.
Flip the Suns and the Warriors for me, and I agree.
And yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Warriors might be better than the Lakers, but I just think Westbrook in the playoffs is going to be interesting, but Westbrook in the regular season is going to ball out.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of games.
The Lakers should go to the finals. If they're going to do it, there's only one way it can happen, is AD has to be the best player on that team. If he's not, then that team's not no good.
It's his time.
It's not just that. It's like he's kind of the odd man out because everybody else is like, let's run, fill the lanes, and all that. And he's the big man that wants to plant his ass in the middle of the paint.
Do you feel with AD? I know I do, but I'm just gonna ask. Do you feel that there's some times where like AD goes missing?
Of course.
Like I know we've seen it. We saw it last year. I mean, where he showed up one game and then the next game he was like he took like a back seat and then of course he got injured. But
he was so good in the bubble, which was like the weirdest circumstance, and it was weird for everyone involved. And he balled out, but outside the bubble, you're right. He's just so hit or miss for a superstar.
It's because like the way he plays is like contrary to his skill. It's like you play like Kevin Durant. Like you want to face up all the time and do all this dumb shit. You want to reverse pivot out of the post and then bring the ball down to the defender and then try to step through. It's like, no, you're 7'1", bro. Play big. Like if you played like Kevin Garnett, one dribble into the middle of the post with a high release, who the hell's gonna block that? Nobody. It's like you take your length away from yourself.
Let's see. Side goes, I don't know why, but the Heat are my sleeper team this season.
They ain't no sleeper. Their team's supposed to do good.
Holly goes, my Bulls are going to the conference finals.
Which conference?
And then Holly goes, will the Clippers actually be a deep contender before they break up the core?
Nope. First, they're going to fire the coach.
I mean, if you're a Clippers fan, which I
can already see what's going to happen is they're going to blame it all on Paul George and trade that fool.
Look, bro, if you're a Clippers fan, the positive you have is you're getting a new stadium in England.
Your own arena.
It's going to be beautiful.
I've never heard it, but someone floated out Paul George for Ben Simmons because
that's not a fair. Philly's stupid if they do that. That don't make them good enough.
Are they getting Paul George or George Paul?
That's a question.
I mean, ever since he said, what did he call himself? Playoff P or something?
Yeah.
Hey, he balled out in the playoffs, bro.
He did when Kyrie went down. With Kyrie there, he was like, I'm robbing.
And those Utah fans were being brutal to him, and he shut them up just by balling out.
People just shit on him because Luka went off on that team for a couple games. But it's Luka. He does that.
And he had some bad numbers in the playoffs. But remember with the Pacers, he would push those Miami LeBron teams to the brink. He would ball out. So I think it was unfair to say he wasn't a good playoff.
Well, I mean, if anybody remembers that shit to like after that, he was a step slow after he broke his leg. He was a full step slow to me. That's the difference.
Can't blame him. That was disgusting.
No, I don't blame him, but he had to figure it out.
Yeah,
but now
his game.
Right now, he's about as good as a mid-range shooter as I've seen. He's almost as good as DeRozan.
Ooh.
Let's see. Holly goes, where do you guys rank the Bulls in the East right now? I love Joel, but with their current situation as of now, they aren't better than Chicago or Miami, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think the Bulls are in Miami's Heat class either. No offense, but you got to show us something. We got to see a game first.
We all agreed they were like a 6.
Look,
the deal about the Bulls is I think they're going to score a ton of points. I just need to see them play defense.
I think after I watched preseason, I know it's preseason, but man, Melo to Levine and Alex, Michael Jordan Caruso to Levine, those assists, bro, are gonna be nasty. If this was the 90s, I would have that Zach LaVine poster right here on my wall, bro. Because now, do I think they're gonna dominate that division? No, but it's gonna be fun to watch.
They make the playoffs. I'll say that. I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll make. I
can't wait to see that team play the Hornets.
That's a good game right now.
Yeah, I guess to our other point about Philly, I'd put Philly. I'd still put Philly. That's tough. Philly Miami's kind of a tough one because of the Ben Simmons things. I put Philly over Chicago. The Miami Philly one's interesting because of the whole Ben Simmons situation. If they get something good for Simmons, but let's say they keep Simmons and they force him to play in a series, that's tough because Miami is so hit or miss. They have some.
But I think Miami beats them all in the series.
Yeah,
I really do because that's what they're doing is they're just made to play in the playoffs.
If they make it,
now they'll figure that out. That's why they got them young guns to run, the Tyler Heroes and Duncan Robinsons. I can't believe they let none go though. That was stupid.
Yeah, that boy Kyle Lowry yesterday. I know it's preseason, but bro, he couldn't hit the side of a barn, man.
No, but the way that defense looks with PJ Tucker and Bam Adebayo, it was like, damn, could we get to the paint?
Yeah, next week we'll do the full playoffs. Oh yeah, the Bucks are definitely still.
Do you think the Bucks are still contenders?
The Bucks as a sleeper because they're defending champs without any pressure. Because if they lose to Brooklyn, it's like, all right, well, Brooklyn's the best team in the NBA. But
house money.
Yeah, they really are playing with house money. There's a huge weight off of Giannis's back. I love where the Bucks are at because no one's really everyone's sleeping on them as a defending champ.
I will call it out right now on this show. I am not picking them to win. Them and the Suns, you had fun. Thank you. Enjoy your title, Bucks.
Yeah, my finals predictions come out of these divisions. I got Lakers and Brooklyn.
That Lakers team, now that I'm watching Carmelo play over there, scares me. And Brooklyn, I just think Brooklyn with a full year of James Harden and KD, that's going to be dirty. And then Patty Mills. I love Patty Mills. You got LaMarcus Aldridge over there. You got Blake Griffin ready to come to play.
That's what scares me. Is like if they do play in the playoffs, that would be AD's time to shine. It's like, oh, y'all brought a Blake Griffin and a LaMarcus Aldridge to guard me. No, watch what I'm about to do.
And he's gonna pass the ball. I got it.
Exactly when he should go average 40.
So there's no argument on the top of these divisions, Nets, Lakers. But who would you rather be? Like, who would you rather be a fan of for the next, like, moving forward, the Raptors or the Kings?
Oh, snap. I guess
I almost want to say the Kings, which is really depressing to say, but
I want to say the Raptors because I think Scotty Barnes is the new up and comer. Like, to me, like, he's a utility player. He's going to be a good enough reason to trade Pascal's bum ass.
You love you from Pascal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Kings. I want the Kings to do good. I don't know them and their 20 guards though. All that.
I'll say this though, like I get they got De'Aaron Fox and Halliburton and Mitchell and all that, right? But Toronto got Malachi Flynn and Van Vliet, and dudes are just hoopers. Like they go get buckets, and I got to count for something.
I don't know. I mean, I got to give credit to the 2-time Summer League champions.
True.
Sacramento Kings.
They're going to translate that one of these years.
They got
to go small, but
they got young talent. I mean, Toronto, and tell you, if you believe in Siakam that much, I'm not a Siakam fan either. If you believe in him that much that he's that good, then I'm not going to pick you.
That's a prove it year for him.
Huh?
That's a prove it year for your boy Siakam. If this is the year he has to prove if he has
there ain't shit he can prove to me. My issue is not with numbers with him because he still has relatively decent numbers. It's how he goes about getting them. It's like you do things you have no business trying. You know what I mean? That's like he does shit like he's Giannis, and I think it's like imagine if Shaq tried to Euro one time.
Oh, like Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I watch Pascal play. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
He's a smaller Rudy Gobert.
And I feel it's just the way the NBA is sometimes. You'll get guys that come out of the draft and they're comparing them to like top tier guys. Like, oh, he has the wingspan of Giannis and KD.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, bro. Like, why are you
Siakam, his wingspan?
And then he makes the All-Star team, so then people really start hyping this. Yep. It's like, oh shit.
Well, they win a title, not really because of much if he did. He makes the All-Star team. Kawhi leaves, and everyone's like, well, we still have Siakam. And it's like, yeah, he's not.
And the real fans are like, oh, we still got Siakam.
Yeah.
I just feel like you can trade Siakam and get a good player, and you still got Scotty Barnes to build around. You got Van Vliet. You got Malachi Flynn. You got Boucher. So you got a big man.
If Van Vliet was drafted by like the Kings, I don't think he ever gets paid. I think he would just be a minimum player and be out of the league maybe in a few years, which isn't as much a knock to him. I think he was just drafted the perfect team, the perfect system. And hats off to him. I've almost never seen a guy no one's heard of become a max player that quickly just based on buckets. And even before he had his kid that year, hate to bring up that series with the Bucks, but after he had his kid, he just balled out. And it wasn't a fluke because he's kept it up since, and it was such a crazy flip of the switch. So yeah, hats off to him. But if he had gone to a Minnesota or a Sacramento,
he reminds me of a player like a CJ McCollum. Probably a little bit better handle, but he also reminds me of, it was like when Steven Jackson kind of came out of nowhere. Remember? Like, oh yeah. Shit, who's this guy?
Then he fell back to nowhere.
Steven Jackson.
No, Steven Jackson did have a weird window because, yeah, he came out of nowhere kind of late. Then he was really good, and then he was overrated, and then he was just a washed veteran on the end of a bench.
Yep.
He got his, but it was a weird ride.
I just don't know what the hell Sacramento intends to do. Like, how do y'all intend to play? You got 5 point guards and 7 centers. What the hell is going?
Love Halliburton. But then,
I like Halliburton too, but I'm not going to get it. Like, to me, Halliburton's a starter in this league. I don't think he's an all-star or a star.
And then Davion Mitchell would have been nice on the right team. Probably more on a contender. But now
that's why Golden State wanted him.
Yeah, I just feel the Kings don't know what direction they want to go. Like,
you know who asked the same question? Buddy Hield. It's like, what the hell are we doing?
It's just it's like I feel like I don't know, like I feel like they have like a 10-year plan to rebuild or something. It's like,
you remember last year when Washington sucked real bad, everybody was like, trade free Bill. Do we need to do that for Buddy Hield? Free little buddy.
Free Buddy, free Dame. There's a few people out there that need Carl Anthony. I'll tell him free him. Speaking of that, Holly goes, if you guys got to pick any team to put Zion on right now to help take them over at the top, what team would you choose? Portland, Houston, Knicks.
Portland, Houston.
Free Zion.
I'm biased, so I'm going to say Houston.
Put over the top?
He wouldn't put none of us over the top. But he can't play on the Knicks because Julius Randle's there.
I think tried that shit. Sweet, but the defense would be a question with him and Dame on the court.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to watch, though. I mean, I just feel Portland needs something.
Portland needs to make a move. What? We've gone over this before, but like Portland is so frustrating. Like, all right, enjoy the 6th seed.
I couldn't be a Portland fan.
What do you have that I want? Not
McCollum in high school has some value.
Who?
McCollum.
He has some, but do you think that you're going to get something in return for him that can do more than he can do for you?
I think I can get a cheaper him.
Or a younger him.
Yeah. I can get a more hungry.
No, I agree with that because there's a lot of bucket getters that could just go over there and shoot. You got one on your team. His name is Anthony Simmons. That team needs big men
But McCollum's a guy that if your fan base, if your team trades for him, if you get McCollum in like 3 first rounders, that's like okay. But if it's like you get I'm trying to think of it, like Miles Turner in 3 first rounders, then it's like I'd rather have McCollum because McCollum at least is a 3-point shooter. You could talk yourself into like, oh, without Dame, CJ is gonna step up and be the man now, which isn't really true, but like you could sell that to a fan base more than you could some of these packages we're seeing hypothetically floated for Simmons.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see.
I don't want to see Simmons go to that team either.
Dan goes, I've got a question for y'all. Who would y'all rather be a fan of, Nuggets or Jazz?
Living with around Jazz fans makes you pick the Nuggets. I love Mitchell, but like, who would you rather like watch in the playoffs? Jokic, who's just a maestro, or Rudy, Eurostep, Gobert?
We want to watch Jokic and play Rudy.
Yeah. So, and I like Michael Porter. I've always liked Michael Porter.
I like Michael Porter too, but I don't think he deserved all that damn money.
That was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money for a guy.
That's gonna hold that team up. I'm telling you.
A guy who has a lot of injury history. That could really backfire.
It is gonna backfire. They're gonna have at some point. Jamal Murray will get traded because of that decision. Watch.
Now you're making me think the Jazz. I think Mitchell.
No, he's just talking about this season. They're good for this season, bro.
I mean, both. I wouldn't have signed Michael Porter that much money, and I definitely wouldn't have signed Rudy Gobert to what he got. But as a Rockets fan, my soul will not let me say the Jazz. Like John,
I think where they really fucked up, and they don't get enough. I think when you traded R.J. Hunter for Aaron Gordon, that was a mistake. I think R.J. Hunter's that good.
I'm not
like imagine if like last year in the playoffs you needed him to run point guard. Like he would have been prime for that. You know what I mean?
Aaron Gordon's a nice player to have.
They re-signed that fool too.
Yeah, they did too.
He just don't fit on that team. He didn't fit on that team. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna waste Bobo?
I think it's Bobo. I think you get these teams though that they're like, maybe if I get enough talent, I can outplay these other teams like that. And I don't think that's my point. Work.
It's like you give Aaron Gordon all this money, but then you go sign Jeff Green.
Bro, they have Austin Rivers, bro.
And you kept Jermichael Green. It's like they're all the same. What are you trying to do?
Talent, bro.
Jeff Green and Jermichael Green the same guy.
Green on green.
Jeff Green likes to travel more.
Yeah.
Team to team, not on the court.
I wish he'd have stayed in Brooklyn.
Let's see.
Yeah, probably have a role there.
Holly goes, Portland is willing to make the Simmons trade, but Morey is acting insane. Haha. CJ 3 firsts and 3 swaps. LOL. That's crazy. Portland would gladly do CJ and 2 firsts.
Yeah.
Morey's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like I remember some of the trades he would ask for. I'm just like, yo, bro. Like he's like, I need a kidney and a pair of shoes and one of my players for.
Could you imagine playing Monopoly with Morey? He'll be like, no. I'll give you Oriental Avenue for Boardwalk.
Yeah.
And be like, whoa, anything else? He's like, I'll throw in a railroad. It's like, dang, man, you gotta give me something.
He's like, but Oriental has 2 houses.
It's $50 if they land on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like, nah, dog.
And then playing with the Kings GM, it's like, hey, man, give me Boardwalk. All right.
You want these 2 hotels?
He's gonna put the houses on for you. It's like
that'd be awesome. NBA GM Monopoly.
We should get it. Book it. Notoriety Hoopz said it first.
The reality show.
That would be a good one.
Holly goes, Joker might actually be the most underrated NBA player of all time. He will go down as a top 5 ever at his position.
Definitely the least credited MVP I've ever seen. He won
it for sure.
Everyone like, oh yeah, he deserved it, but okay.
No, it reminds me of when Steve Nash won his. Is people are like, I don't know.
Bruh, this dude has been disrespected as an MVP. They didn't even put him in the damn video for freaking NBA 2K. Like, how do you not add the MVP, bro? Like, you added some scrubs in there too. I don't care what anybody says. You added like no offense to any of the rookies, my team has a rookie on there, but you put multiple rookies in there above the MVP, bro. If I was the MVP, I'm looking at all these big men rookies. I'm going after you. I'm going after you. Rudy Gobert, I'm definitely going after you because you suck. I was like, I'm going after everybody.
Do you think that being in Denver affects that? Do you think if he's in LA or Miami, he has a little more clout, I guess? Or do you think because he's in a smaller market, he never says it? He never says anything. He's not like
that's the problem.
Tweeting or like he didn't care. He didn't even seem to care about MVP. He was just, which I actually respect in this day and age when everyone thinks they're MVP. He just went out, balled, got almost a triple double, and got his and got the MVP, and didn't even seem to care when he got it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I did read like when the draft came around, I didn't know that your social network and your social media following mattered so much to teams. Because like when the Rockets looked at Jalen Green, he already had like almost 40,000 followers because of his fashion. And they said that that's, I guess, what they look for. People, not just him, but like everybody looks for in stars and, you know, who
that's
can.
The Laramie Tunsil effect.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think Joker cares the least bit about what people say because he makes people look stupid. Like he's a hooper. He's a top 5 player in the world right now. That's all that matters to him. Hoopers give him credit. That's all that matters to him.
It's going back to that last question. Jazz fans are always bragging like, "Oh, the Nuggets were stupid enough to trade us Gobert." It's like, well, yeah, because I'd rather have the Joker than Rudy Gobert.
The Joker, I always call him like the silent assassin. This dude just balls you up, goes on with his day, goes home, goes to sleep, and does it.
It's ridiculous, bro. He might have the best motor in basketball.
I helped him win MVP. He didn't miss any games.
He's got that Westbrook motor. He just goes and 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 goes.
He
EMPs for rest.
I don't know. This dude here is just a monster. I think like a lot of people give credit to like a lot of people want to say Luka is like one of the top like international players, but I think you got to put Joker way before him. Like, I mean, of course he won
now, yeah. With
Giannis, Joker,
probably Giannis, Joker, and then Luka, and then Siakam.
Yeah, we need 12 men on the team, so
I look at
Siakam's the 12th man, pulling down the bench.
I look at Joker as the Khabib of this sport.
Maybe we should do that. I have time to prep for next week's show, but like the NBA international team to see if Siakam makes it. That'd be interesting.
I'm gonna think about that.
What? And do we count Canada, or do we say that's not international enough?
No, we count. Yeah, Canada is international to me
because they have a lot of guys now.
They're
trying to pump up guys. Murray, Wiggins. I guess
Barrett.
We saw at this Olympics that the world has caught up in basketball for sure,
which is pretty dope.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. So, how many playoff teams are we saying are in?
I think both divisions have 3, possibly 4.
I think the Atlantic has to have 4. Like I'd almost be surprised if it's not 4, because that would mean the Knicks. That basically means the Knicks missed the playoffs, or maybe because I don't think the Celtics or Sixers are missing it. We got to do this again with the other teams.
Brooklyn. I have Brooklyn first. I'll say Boston above Philly just because I don't know what the hell's going on with Ben. Then I'll put Philly just out of respect. Then I'll put Knicks. But I won't be surprised if Philly just has a bunch of like drama over there right now. I mean,
yeah. And Doc Rivers is not the best coach for drama because he says things and then he walks them back, and then it's like
I wouldn't be surprised if Boston had a worse year than we thought.
If Boston has a bad year, that's when I think Danny. Oh no, he's gone. That's when Brad Stevens finally is like, "I'm gonna do what Danny never did, and make a trade, like a big trade.
I'm gonna trade Jalen." But I think that team's going to be stupid good on defense. But I don't know if they're going to score very good.
Boston.
That's why I put him second, just because of how much.
I mean, you get Horford back, who he calls defense. Schroeder's familiar with Horford, and you still got Marcus Smart, Robert Williams.
They've signed what? Dennis Schroeder, and then
Schroeder.
Well, they were the ones that got Evan Fournier, right?
Now Fournier went to the Knicks.
New York.
Yeah, they had Fournier. They traded.
Yeah,
for him, yeah. I think there's 8 playoff teams in these 2 divisions. And I wouldn't be shocked if there's 7. I think the line would be like 7.5. But
because the one team you don't know about is the Clippers.
Yeah,
that's oh wow! What did I
when we
miss
did
in
the
this
West? When was that last week? We were going through, and the 7 and 8, the 7 through 10 spots were pretty up in the air, enough where I wouldn't be shocked if the Clippers. I think the Clippers are making the play-in.
Yeah, they'll make the play-in.
I just don't know if they can win a game or 2 in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think there's 4. I think there's 4 in the Atlantic. The Raptors, you could almost argue, could be a 10 seed.
I don't see it. Because, I mean, do you think that the Raptors are better than Chicago?
No.
Do you think the Raptors are better than the Hornets?
No.
After what I saw Melo do in that preseason game.
They're definitely not better than the Knicks.
No.
You know what? They could almost probably be an 11 seed.
I think they'll make a run at a playoff game.
I could see like coming down to the last week, they're on the bubble to be the 10th seed.
Yeah.
And then they get smoked and finish as the 11th seed. They're just not very deep. And I like Van Fleet a lot, but like he's not the guy who's gonna like carry you single-handedly to the playoffs. And then Siakam, unless he did something crazy this offseason, isn't either. So
that's why Scotty Barnes and be like, okay, this is my team. Like we're gonna do it.
Scotty Barnes would help, but he's not winning that award either. So like,
I mean, Orlando ain't gonna do shit, so don't have to worry about them.
What about MVP? Is there an MVP in either of these divisions? I mean, there are MVPs, but like, who do you think is most likely?
I think on the Pacific Division, I would have to say if Anthony Davis does what we think he should do and dominate, then I would put him. If not, then I would say maybe a Steph Curry if they're above higher than what we think.
No chance for LeBron?
No, I was about to say LeBron might get his first triple-double averages here with all them shooters on that team.
I just don't say LeBron because I feel he's like always in the mix anyway. So
yeah, that's true. I agree with the AD thing though. I think this is a great chance for AD to go for it himself. I don't think Phoenix has an MVP guy. But yeah, Steph. What about Paul George? Just hear me out. What if the Clippers finish like top 4, top 5 in the West? Paul George gets back to that 1 year in OKC where he was like 3rd in MVP. It's not insane because Ty Lue's a good coach.
No, I agree.
That's a good dark horse
for that division. Yeah, that is.
I mean, if he comes out playing the way he played in that playoffs, yeah, I'll put him up there because that team there, like Paul George isn't bad. He just
hold on. Why are we not mentioning Curry?
I did mention Curry.
He mentioned Curry.
Yeah.
And yeah, if the Warriors finish top 2 or 3 and he puts up a year like last year, you almost have to.
To me, Curry's scared. That boy can hit from freaking the driveway of my house all the way over there.
In the Atlantic, I think Embiid has the best odds if he like fights through all this drama and leads the Sixers to a top seed. The Nets kind of cancel themselves out.
Yeah, they're too good. It's like this. They'll just look too good, and everybody's gonna average 30.
Right. Yeah, and that's what happened last year. No one got any MVP buzz, even though KD was balling out. Harden.
Hey, but what about Tatum?
Oh, that's a sleeper. Yeah,
because if
he's like a Paul George level sleeper, I think about the same chances.
I just have no faith in Boston. Y'all have more faith than I do in that team.
Unproven coach.
I don't know. Like there's something about Boston in my gut that's just like I don't trust y'all.
It's because I'm telling you, the problem with Boston is that first off, that team wasn't built for Stevens to coach. Like he's an offensive guy, and you got hustle players on that team.
Yeah.
Just go be like that's what made them rookies good when Tatum and Brown were young. It's like go be a dog, go be nasty, and then they can't stop us. Like nobody can be more athletic than that. That might be the most athletic team. So if they can go be nasty and Tatum gonna average 30, who knows?
I don't know. I feel like Boston Celtics is like a rich man's like Sacramento Kings. Like,
oh no, that's disrespectful.
No, I just
mean, they
you,
legit were in the Eastern Conference Finals like 2 years ago.
I just feel you have a bunch of assets and you're scared to make trades. All right, a rich man's OKC then. How about that one?
There's a talent discrepancy there, bro. You're talking about Tatum and Brown and all those bums in Sacramento and OKC.
But what I'm saying is you had 1,000 picks almost and you didn't do nothing with them.
But we hit on two.
You hit on two of them. You hit on two of them, but then you have more picks. There was like literally 5 years where ESPN, everybody's praising Boston. Oh man, they're gonna be amazing with all 100 picks that they have, bro. And that's what I'm saying. You get these teams like I always say, like OKC is doing the Boston blueprint. Cool, bro. You're gonna be top 6 in the West, bro. It's amazing. You'll be where Portland's at.
5 years.
Cool. But like, what are you doing? Like, you have teams that are like, I mean, you're not going to compete with Brooklyn and Lakers just bringing in their friends. Like, hey, bro, you want to come play me? I bet. But, I mean, you have teams like Denver, 76ers that were like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to sign this guy. I'm going to make a trade. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I just feel Boston
that
like
doesn't necessarily make them good. Like, Boston, like, I don't give a shit what Denver does. They won't win a ring. Like, that team's not good enough. They need a lot more than what. But you can't really shit on Boston and their pick situation because you use those picks wisely enough to say that 3 of my 5 starters I drafted. Those are my guys.
Robert Williams, yeah, that was another good pick.
You know what I mean?
Boy, and then Marcus Smart too.
And then you have Grant Williams off the bench. You have Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench is like a scorer. So I mean, you have players there.
Boston Celtics are gonna be like 5th in that league. In that Eastern Conference. That's me being nice. That's me being nice.
Because you're playing behind Milwaukee and Brooklyn.
Actually, no, you'll be 7th.
Atlanta. Atlanta's the team that everybody should be scared of.
After what I've seen John Collison doing out here in preseason, dunking from like half the free throw line, bro, yeah. I definitely got Brooklyn. I got Milwaukee. I got to put y'all up there for respect. I'll put Atlanta was at 3.
Mm-hmm. Probably
Philly up there, even with their drama. I don't know. Like I said, I'll put the Knicks and Chicago Bulls before I put Boston up there, bro. I do not care for this Boston.
Boston being the 4 or 5 series. That'd be an awesome series.
Tatum, you're good, bro. But man,
Boston. The Chicago Bulls are not as good as the Boston Celtics. That's crazy shit.
We gonna see. We got 82 games, bro. 82 games, and when the Boston Celtics, like Holly said, are the Cowboys of the NBA, I'm gonna come back on here and I'm be like, Al Horford
are looking good.
0 points.
Huh?
Cowboys are looking pretty good.
I was about to say their offense looked pretty good.
They always look good up until playoffs.
Their division's so bad though.
That division is terrible.
That's gonna look better. Yeah,
it's like we have the smartest kid in special ed.
I don't know. Trae Young coming this year is gonna scare me though. That boy.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this to get going. We're pretty close, but yeah, these 2 divisions, man, especially compared to some of the ones we did before.
I would love to see them blow that Clippers team up already.
I feel you should. You got a new stadium coming in.
Kawhi ruined that though. Kawhi re-signing, which is a good thing
because that team,
paper, but you have to keep your guys.
If I'm the Clippers, I'm on the phone with Portland. I'm like, okay, I'll take McCollum and some other things, and you can have Paul. I think that makes both teams better. If Kawhi can stay healthy, I would probably want like McCollum and Nurkic. But if I'm Portland, I make the trade.
Facts. Facts. The Celtics look great too, LOL. But we know they're not going anywhere, just like the Cowboys. I'm going to put the Celtics right there where I put Portland Trailblazers. You got talent, you look nice, but ain't nobody taking you to the ball. I'm just that whole front office. I mean,
They're too loyal, bro. They're too loyal.
That's fine with me. This is a
started now.
thing.
Free Dame, free Dame, free Dame.
If they got Damian Lillard, then I'll be like, you know what, Boston Celtics, you're going all the way. I agree. But you over here.
I don't think if he gets traded, he's going to Boston.
No, he's not going to Boston. I'm just trying to give him some hope for. This sucks. Like I was always a Boston fan. Like definitely wasn't a Lakers fan. So I mean, when I had to pick and choose, it was always Boston Red Sox over Yankees, Boston Celtics over Lakers.
Boston Red Sox are killing it right now.
I know 8-5. It's a good one.
I'll be a 5-game series.
I hope so.
Yeah, you got a rookie starter today, a rookie starter tomorrow for Tampa, so that was pretty dumb.
I don't know, but Boston Celtics, if you're a fan, Gabby, I know you're on our network. I'm sorry, I don't support your team.
When you were just listing on playoff teams, that you forgot all about the Heat.
Yeah, I did forget about it. I knew I was forgetting somebody. I forget about, bro. They're like the retirement home over there, dog. Like,
I wouldn't want to play that team in the playoffs, bro. I'm telling you.
They got to make the playoffs first, bro.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
I don't know.
Crazy shit.
They're gonna be a slow team, man.
No, they are slow because we ran them off the court the other day. But I mean, Lowry's not slow.
I want to know also. I want to see how COVID affects this season because you kind of see how it's affecting the NFL. But at least in the NFL, you have a lot more players.
At least it's not like last year in the NFL when they were playing.
Yeah, no, I didn't think. Well, they were canceling whole games. I don't think it's that big of a deal this year.
I mean, I think it is. Like you got. I mean, in the NBA, I'm thinking if you got a guy like Jaylen Brown has COVID right now, he can't even practice with the team until he comes back, and nobody knows when that's gonna be.
And then Kyrie,
oh man, that boy Kyrie good. He gonna miss what 41 games, including
just give hard
playoffs.
It's hard to play him.
Patty Mills, you're up, bro.
Patty Mills, Bembry, Brown. They'll be okay. I think that team's gonna do really well.
Joe Harris.
Oh yeah, I forgot, man.
He disappeared in the playoffs, but
who?
Joe Harris.
Oh yeah.
Holly goes, I can't force myself to like Laurie. I don't know why, but he's so overrated to me. He's not a number one or even a good number two on a team to me.
I mean, I guess the counter to that would be as the number two with the Raptors title team, but Kawhi was such the alpha.
The thing about Lowry is he just knows how to win.
I like Lowry. I don't like him.
I don't like him either. He annoys me just as much as Pat Bev.
Yeah, he's feisty.
I mean, who literally just crawls under somebody else's legs and flops, and they're looking for a foul? It's like, chill out, bro. You did that. But the Heat are still a good team.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be some of these teams. I mean, I want to see how injuries come up, and of course, like, ain't nobody had Phoenix going.
See, I don't want to shit on them and say it was a fluke, but it kind of was. They were lucky at the very least.
All the dominoes fell. All the dominoes fell for those two teams that made it.
I mean, that happens every year, though. Maybe not as dramatically, but
look, I know they said that Kevin Durant shaved his toenails. He got a smaller shoe. Yeah, I got.
I'm also thinking Lakers Nets, and it almost feels too easy. Like
it does, but it also feels stupid to not pick it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like Cavs Warriors for those 15 years or whatever it was. It was so like no one wanted to pick it, but it always happened.
If you didn't pick that, what would your matchup be? Because I think if there is a team that could beat Brooklyn,
it's the Bucks.
It'd be Atlanta.
Oh,
Atlanta would have a hard time matching up with the wings on that team.
I put the Bucks. I would go. I think the Bucks would be right behind the Nets. But then in the West, that gets tougher in the West if the Lakers don't make it.
My issue with the Bucks is there was times where y'all had problems scoring, right?
Yeah,
It's okay though because the defense was on point,
and it's okay because they won.
You can't make me believe that defense is still that good with PJ gone.
They must have known something. Part of me now, I'm just being like a homer, but like part of me is wondering if they like just they saw that PJ put all he had left into that series because he didn't play and do that much in the following series after the Durant one. So I'm wondering if they were like, we're not paying this guy who just put all he had left and he may be on the decline.
I mean, he struggled in Houston before he went to Milwaukee.
I'm just saying he couldn't get right after Cam Johnson dunked on him, but
yeah,
that was nasty. The thing is, he's gonna look bad in the regular season.
He emptied his tank and he ran y'all's defense. So I just don't think it could be as good as it was.
Holly goes, the Bucks are the luckiest team to win the final since the Mavs. LOL. I don't even consider the Bucks a serious contender this year.
Is it lucky to have the best player in the world?
How is the Mavs the luckiest team? That wasn't luck. I haven't seen a player get hot like Dirk did that year.
That boy Dirk dominated.
It's kind of similar. You have Dirk and Giannis, who are two great international players. Both just go complete supernova. And
if you go back and look at Dirk's that finals run, he beat Kobe, LeBron, and Durant.
Yep.
Boy, balled.
Man, that was a fun team. That was it was an unexpected team, which might be the point there. Small market, whatever. But man, I don't know. Giannis, I think, proved himself, if not the best player in the world, at least top two. And any time in a sport where you only have 5 guys out there, if you have one,
if I were to argue anybody was better, it would be KD.
KD was awesome, but then like people always talk about the foot. But
Giannis won y'all a game in Phoenix when he blocked Aiden's alley-oop. Like, that's what won that game. KD would never do that. You would never get that from KD. So, to me, for Giannis to win a game on defense is like, all right, you're the best in the world. I don't give a fuck if you can shoot or not. You know what I mean?
KD's the best offensive player in the world. Giannis is the best all-around player in the world.
That dude's the best scorer I ever seen in my life. I never seen better.
No. Cool. He was like, when
Kevin
he
Durant.
misses.
Oh, yeah.
When he misses, it was like, wow. But I've watched Game 7 of that Bucks Nets series like 5 times because when I watched it live, I almost had an aneurysm. But watching it now that I know what happened, I can watch it and just be peaceful. But the Bucks had a possession right before the Brooklyn shoe one where they could have gone up by 5, but Middleton lost the ball out of bounds. So if he makes that, if they score there and they go up 5, then that there's so many different things that can go in an NBA.
If you really think about it, when he took that fadeaway 3-pointer the second time in overtime, if he would have looked before he shot it, because he made the conscious decision to shoot it before he ever even caught it, he would have realized the whole right side of this court's open. If I just go to the basket, there's nobody in front of me.
Well, Harden was open. Harden gave up a chance. Harden did not want the ball. He was like, here you go.
That's what I'm saying. That Milwaukee didn't realize how lucky they. I don't even want to say lucky, but I don't know if they won that or Brooklyn beat themselves.
Well, Brooklyn had a ton of injuries to it. They hobbled into that series like Harden, because as a Rockets fan, Harden was durable. This boy would twist his ankle, wrap that boy up, and then come out again. And that boy hobbled into that. He's like, I got this, bro.
He hurt himself on a flop.
Yeah. I mean, it's Harden, bro. He flops. We knew it in Houston. We defended it, but it was our flopper. I mean, let's be honest. Lakers got a flopper over there too. That boy winning awards and everything.
Yeah,
everyone has a flopper.
I think every team has that flopper. I mean, now you're seeing it in football. Look, Buffalo last week, they had their tight end flopped at. Let's see. Cecil Daniel goes, Milwaukee, we some dogs. LOL.
Hey.
Dog him right out of there.
There you go, Cecil. Don't put the next one up.
Holly goes, Kevin Durant over Giannis all day. Giannis is just an athletic freak. Durant has some skill in so many aspects. Giannis doesn't have an insane talent at any one aspect outside of
Is
athleticism.
James Harden running her account? That's a James Harden comment. It's like, if you could score 50 in the game 6 of a finals on athleticism, you would see Siakam doing it.
Yeah, for real.
Shoot, you ain't lying. Siakam, that dude sucks. I just feel I put Giannis up there with like the Kawhi Leonards and like those two-way dominant players. Like, dude can go out there, block your shot, then come back and hit a 3 or score on a dunk, and then go back and steal the ball from you, and then yell at your bench's face, and then block another shot into your coach's head. Like, dude, just
on the free throw line.
Yeah, like Durant's just gonna go out there and shoot from his bench and just drain a 3 in your face, and then run down the court. And
to Durant's credit, he's gotten much better at defense than early in his career.
He is, but he's a better. He's primarily used as a help defender. You don't see that fool switching on a high pick and roll ever. Giannis, he will. You'll see Giannis at the top on a point guard.
I'm still picking KD though, just so we get out there.
Playing 1-on-1, yeah, I'd probably take KD.
I'm taking KD on my team.
I don't know about that. 1-on-1, yeah. If Giannis was on KD, if Giannis has one guy to guard, it's tough to score on him.
The only way Giannis gets a bucket in that situation is if he literally bangs into Kevin Durant every time, which is what he's gonna do. But
that'd be interesting to watch. That would be a cool like all-star game, all-star weekend thing where they just pit 2 guys.
It'd be like King of the Court. They'd never do that shit because they're like, I'm not risking getting my player hurt.
Can you imagine? Like LeBron would be like, nah.
But wouldn't it be good if the team sent like a sorry or good 1-on-1 player? You know what I mean? Like if like the Jamal Crawfords of the world played in that, the Lou Williams.
Do like a big 3 out there.
We'll watch it.
Now it would just be straight 1s to 7. You know what I mean? Like Lou Williams and J.R. Smith and Eric Gordon.
Ollie goes, what about Zach versus James? I imagine a Glenn Baby Davis versus Brian Scalabrine.
Hey, I'll take the Scalabrine comp.
Speaking of Glenn Baby Davis, I heard he got arrested the other day.
He did.
Yeah, him like and 17 other ex-NBA players. Like,
oh, that fraud.
Yeah, like federal charges and everything. Like, bro. Like,
yeah, I'll take the Scalabrine reference then. Thank you.
I gotta be a big baby.
I love Scalabrine because he went to the gym one time and dudes were playing him and they go, dude, you suck. And he goes, I made it to the NBA. So if I suck, what does that make you?
Well, yeah, people challenge him because they think they can beat him. You can't beat an NBA anybody.
I remember I went to the park near Toyota Center in Houston one time and there was a guy from And One. He dunked over me. He was like 5'1". And like I was just out there playing, and he's like, "You want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, bro." And then I saw him dunk over me, and I walked off. I literally walked off into my car and drove off. Like
getting dunked on, especially like in a formal setting or like just like a pickup setting, it's life changing. And I don't know if it's.
I remember 9th grade. I got humbled when a point guard dunked over me. That was the first time in my life in front of my family.
You should have just pushed him, bro. Push him out of the air. You're not dunking on me.
Bro, it was Yates High School, bro. Like
I don't care.
I didn't know he was dunking over me. I set a pick and I turned and the dude's over me and I just look up and this dude's shorts are rubbing against my forehead, bro. And I went
like
to
that
my
scene from Along Came Polly.
Yeah. I went to my coach. It was like, take me out, coach. I'm done.
I'm off the team.
I'm hurt.
I quit.
I can't play. He hurt my cheek.
I quit 5 games later.
I'm out.
That was a career-ending injury for you.
That was when I knew when my parents told me I wasn't going to be in the NBA that I should.
No, you're like, I need to spend more time with my family.
Personal reasons. Kyrie Irving. Yeah.
Oh man, this was good content today. Good divisions.
Yeah. I wish the Clippers were better so I could talk about Kawhi because I like that dude. He's one of my favorite players.
Shoot.
But no, they got Batum.
Nick Batum.
Who
did, for his credit, play a lot better than I thought. When the Clippers signed him, I just laughed.
Yeah, but you're not going to get 30 minutes a game Batum anymore, and that's what they think they have. You
15.
get 4 good minutes a quarter Batum.
I'll take that. Man.
Right. If that's what you expect, that's fine. But to Zach's point, yeah, they expect him to be the whenever Batum was good, which I don't remember because he just seems.
When he was in Portland, he was pretty good.
He had like 1 year.
Charlotte was a career killer for a lot of teams.
Well, you have to think about what he was in Portland. Like at that time, the whole league was chasing somebody to match up with LeBron. And he was one of the dudes who didn't disappoint. Like I thought he turned out better than like, no offense, but like Rudy Gay.
He's carved out more of a career than Rudy did, yeah.
Remember when the Charlotte Hornets used to be called the Charlotte Bobcats? That was the ugliest high school musical name.
That was only like 2 years or 3 years, but it was so bad.
That's
and
when
the jerseys were ugly, like blue and that weird orange.
They wasted my boy Emeka Okafor.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about him.
He's from around the way.
Remember they who was that guy they drafted from what was it, Gonzaga, I believe?
Well, Holly was gonna call me Adam Morrison.
Oh, Adam Morrison right there.
Hey, if I make the NBA, I'll take it. I'll take the comp.
Hey,
I put Gonzaga on the map.
did he win a ring with like the Lakers or something?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
At the end of their bench.
Oh, man.
I remember he went to celebrate. Kobe looked at him like, "What the hell are you celebrating for, dog?"
I think I read something where he does like radio now for Gonzaga.
It's a good place for him.
He was a baller over there.
Who's the bigger bust, Morrison or JJ or Jimmer Fredette?
Morrison.
Yeah, I think Morrison.
Yeah, Morrison, I think.
Jimmer didn't go until like the 10th pick. Morrison went like top 5. So like I think that helps. And then
plus Jimmer Fredette, he went to China and he's killing that league.
Right, Morrison never went overseas and became a legend. So props to Jimmer.
Jimmer even got a tryout with the Warriors last year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, in this baseball game, that fan just robbed that guy.
I missed
it.
Really? The fan reached over and caught the ball. He reached over the yellow line and caught it.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
Nah, that was going out anyway.
He should have just let it go, though. We'll see what happens.
He should have let it go, but I think it was going out anyway.
Damn, Holly says Jimmer Fredette reminds me of Chandler Parsons. That boy bamboozled.
Oh, no, Jimmer Fredette was Chandler Parsons had zero basketball skill whatsoever.
Well, Parsons had a better career in terms of making money.
Exactly.
But Jimmer had a better career in terms of being proud of your career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Chandler Parsons had no basketball skill whatsoever. When he shot the ball, he did like this little wiggle, and it looked like a fish out of water. It was
that was just a guy in a contract year getting hot
who gave max effort.
Yeah,
and he got paid,
and then never tried again.
He got paid twice.
Yeah, Memphis ended up paying him after that.
Like, you know what? Maybe it was just a situation. Let's run this back.
I remember
so desperate for a shooter at that time because they had the grit and grind team, but they never had a good perimeter shooter.
But so he gave you no reason to believe that he was a good shooter, ever.
Desperate times. But yeah, you're right.
They were
watching.
He was too small to play 3, and he was too big to guard good 2s. So he was kind of like, "What are you, bro?"
Memphis was watching a YouTube compilation that Parsons made of him in the gym, just like shooting on high schoolers, and they're like, "Damn!" And then it cut to him dancing with Mark Cuban in the club, and they're like, "All right."
That was when Dallas got caught up on signing white dudes.
Yeah, they had
Dirk.
Yeah, I will never forget that picture of Parsons and Mark Cuban in the club, like. And all Rockets fans like, "Oh, I guess he ain't coming back no more."
Well, you didn't hear that one complaint in Houston when he didn't come back.
When he said, "I feel that I'm the second superstar that James Harden needs here," I was like, "Bye."
Yeah,
ball in the club, Parsons or Urban Meyer?
Ooh,
damn, that's tough. Probably Johnny Manziel.
I was just, I like Urban Meyer's. Like, I'm not doing anything. Just holding my hands out.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't control
Like,
that.
he totally was into it.
Oh yeah. I mean, him and Trevor Lawrence, his sister, were getting in on that club, bro.
It's like when you're dancing and your mom's there, but you have a girl dancing with you, and you want to like, so you're just like, oh, hands up.
I'm not
Like,
doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
Oh man, yeah. I couldn't party with Chandler. Like,
If he's paying for it,
shit, he's paying. You ain't lying. Never
I
mind.
know
He's
we got
paying.
the funds.
Who? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who would have more clout in the club because apparently Urban Meyer has some clout, at least in Ohio.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, for some reason, like those college towns, like if you talk bad about like somebody that used to play with them or something, bro, they like over here in Houston with Deshaun Watson, bro.
You
Clemson
can say
hates
almost
Houston.
anything.
Clemson hates us right now. They're like, how dare you talk about Deshaun Watson? I'm like, we didn't even do it. Like, it's him that did it. What are you talking about? And I'll have Clemson fans are like, Houston's such a bad place, such a shitty place. I'm like, bro, it ain't our fault.
25 anymore.
I'm like, look, man, if you want to defend him, that's fine.
Just because we handled Hopkins and Watson situations poorly don't mean we hate Clemson.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Hopkins one's more unforgivable. Like this Watson one, you kind of have to do what you're doing, but the Hopkins one,
That was stupid.
That was
Well,
Bill
Morgan did that trade.
Buttchin O'Brien.
Let me tell you what sucked about that the most. Is like the day he did that, I think the next day our whole city went on lockdown for quarantine. And they shut the NBA down like the day after. So it was like, this is the worst week ever.
I will say this. If we offered Hopkins as a sacrifice for the Astros to win a World Series, I'm game. Let's do it.
Yeah, me too.
We got Jalen Green on the Rockets. We're getting a World Series by the Astros. We're getting a hockey team, Zach.
We got Davis Mills on the Texans.
Yeah, that guy. We're getting that number 1 pick because of him. Woo!
4 points.
I am fine with that because you know why? Bill O'Brien is no longer in Houston.
That's true.
I can sleep at night.
That butt chin dummy.
That dude there.
I like how they doubled down on him too. Like, and he never showed anything.
That's Houston. We were used to it already. There was that year where Kubiak was supposed to get like you knew he was getting fired, and they were kept. Oh no, he's our future, this and that. And you would literally walk into the stadium, and they're booing Kubiak, cursing.
It was
him
so
out.
bad the dude had a heart attack on the field and no one cared.
Yeah.
Was he the original coach when the team?
No, he was the second one. The original one was Dom Capers.
Yeah.
Oh,
That guy.
He was defensive coordinator for the Packers when they won.
Yeah, he was bad with the Packers. Oh,
Yep. Now we got David Culley. Yeah.
Dom Capers works for somebody else right now too.
Yeah, the Packers fired him.
I think he went to the. I thought he went to the Vikings, or he went back to Jacksonville.
That's what's funny about the NFL. You can be regarded as a crappy coordinator and still get jobs. Like, never out of a job.
Or you get fired as a shitty head coach and they go back to being a coordinator and be like, he's an excellent offensive line coach.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a shitty coordinator, you go to the O-line coach or D-backs coach, and then you do well there, and then you go back to coordinator. Man. NBA is different.
Let's see.
Yeah.
T-Mac, Harden, Hopkins, J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson. T-Mac, that boy, I want to hear it. Yao Ming play with a broken foot, and T-Mac over there crying about back spasms, so he can kick rock. Harden
was at the strip club until he got traded.
Harden's the only one that's a disappointment.
If Chris Paul's hamstring wouldn't have gone down, we would have won. We would have beat Golden State.
And then we would have
Man,
swept the Raptors.
I
That's
would
what pissed me off when y'all lost to Golden State because I was so sick of the Warriors at that point.
They beat us every year.
What was it? I hate to bring this up, but what were you shooting in Game 7 from 3? Like 3 of 50?
Oh God, that was
we missed 27 in a row.
Yeah, I think one of us could have hit a 3 at that
27
point.
in a row to end the game. And we lost by 3.
Mm-hmm. We would have made some of them.
If we would have just went to the bucket and drew a foul.
If Ryan Anderson could have hit the side of a damn barn.
No, the culprit for that was Trevor Ariza because he was like 0 for 12 in the second half.
That boy sucked the whole
But in
series.
all fairness, he guarded the shit out of KD in that game.
Yeah.
He put it all on the defense.
Like I said, if Ryan Anderson would have sucked, bro.
I 100% blame that series loss on D'Antoni because he I get you shrink the rotation, but you don't shrink it even smaller. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go to 6-man rotation,
Bro,
when
he
you
had
have 8 men
6
playing
and
well,
7, bro.
especially when you switch everything. Because Luka Mbamute was balling.
Hey, Mamute, I love him.
Then he hurt his shoulder, missed some time, came back, and he was slumping, but his defense and his rebound were on point. But
He was a defensive specialist. That's all
he
he did.
completely quit playing him, though. Like, he didn't play at all in that series. And I was like, damn, that dude needed to be on the court because he matched up with Draymond and KD.
Yep. I was mad. I was like, yo, play somebody else. I mean, we even seen it the other year where we ended up getting like we ended up signing like I forgot who we signed, and you had dudes on the bench. I'm like, yeah, man, we gonna play them, and he played nobody. I'm like, what was the point of signing new players if you're not gonna play them? You're doing 7 guys still. Like,
well, another thing that pissed me off about that is we were 0 for 27, and you cut it down to a 6-man rotation, and the only bench player you played was Austin Rivers.
yeah, that was good.
Oh,
We can't hit a 3, and Gerald Green is sitting on our bench. Ben McLemore is sitting on our bench.
Have fun, Brooklyn. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you got anything else to add, boys?
no, it's fun. I'm excited for next week too. Right before the season starts.
I think Zach, you're gonna be out next week, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, next week we definitely will be here. Preseason has started. We're gonna see what happens. What does the season start? It starts in like 2 weeks, I think, right?
Yeah,
I think on the 19th.
yeah,
Something like that. We're gonna be ready. We got some fun ones. I know we'll be doing some lives coming up soon.
Cavs,
I'll make sure.
T-balls.
No, we're not. I was getting agreed. I was like, hold on, wait, no.
You're just like, oh, wait, no. Wait.
I was like, if they, no, I can't do that. I'll do like the first quarter, then switch it. Yeah, make sure y'all go like and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Go make sure you go and buy some of our What's Poppin' corn snacks, popcorn. They taste delicious. They got a new churro one. That being said, we're out. Y'all have a good weekend, everybody.
Variety Sports Network. Built